Afternoon and welcome to Tuesdays with Annette. That's right, it's home ec with Annette time and we're going to make a recipe together. So hopefully you've downloaded the recipe from the website ready to go. And what are we making? We're doing sticky pork chops. It is such an easy recipe and I thought what a perfect one for those learning to cook. So here it is, it's out of book 4. So that's the book we're using, but you can get the recipe from the website. And here it is. That's the sticky pork chops we're going to make on the show today. It's so easy. And I thought for those that are just a little bit unsure about getting in the kitchen and cooking, seriously, people are going to have this and think they're eating gourmet. All right, so last week's show we did pikelets and a lot of people posted their pictures up, but 3 lucky people won a cookbook. And that was Deborah June, Ingrid Krantis, and Carol Jackson. So remember to put your photos in because that's the way you'll win a prize on Tuesdays with Annette. So let's look at the equipment we need for cooking this fabulous recipe. So I've got my electric fry pan. It's a non-stick one. I find that really great to work with. We need some cooking spray. We need a bowl and a measure cup. And my little props here that I've got my chopping board. I've got a spoon, a knife, some measure spoons. I always just have a tablespoon because I don't know, sometimes I just like to have it there. A little whisk and some tongs. Now that's what we need, but also let's think about the ingredients. So we've got our pork chops over here. So you want 4 175 gram pork loin chops, really lean point chops. And I'm going to show you how to make them really lean and fabulous for the recipe. So we've got that. You also need half a teaspoon each of ginger and garlic. And of course you can always use fresh, but I'm using simple easy because you know me, I like it easy. We've got 2 tablespoons of honey. We've got 1/3 cup of plum sauce, an 1/8 of a teaspoon of Chinese 5-spice, 2 teaspoons of the sweet chili sauce, and 1 tablespoon of the low salt soy sauce. So I find this is a great one because I have all of that in my pantry and fridge at all times. All I need to get is the pork. But before we start, let's go and do the hygiene thing. So let's do our 20-second hand wash. And I just think it's a really good idea. And I always wash my hands in between when I'm using the meat as well. So it just is a good idea. And always remember that chopping boards should be used separately for the meat or fish, for vegetables, things like that. Have separate chopping boards for that. Hello, if you've just joined me, I'm washing my hands because we're going to get cooking sticky pork chops, book 4. I know. Now this is one of my daughter Jenna's favourite go-to because she works, she's got 2 kids, you need some simple things, right? So what she does, she actually makes up a double batch of the sauce and freezes it. I know, clever Jenna. And then she just defrosts it, cooks a bit of pork or chicken because there's variations. You can have the pork, loin, chicken breast, skinless. You can do tofu, you can do lamb. It's just a great sauce, and feel like you're having something a bit special because a piece of pork can be a bit boring, but not with sticky pork chops. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to start doing the pork chops. Now I've already done the others ahead, but here is that beautiful loin. See how meaty it is because it doesn't have lots of fat in it. So what I need to do is get this stuff off. See this here? This is what clogs the arteries. It's a saturated fat and we want it out. We don't want it, we're trying to lose weight, be healthy, be fabulous, and that isn't going to work. So let's chop it off. And you do it before you cook, please. Don't cook it and then take the fat off. But you know what happens? Because I've taken this off, this is probably at least half the fat of what it would normally be just by cutting that off. It's gone, we don't need it anymore. So I've done that with all the chops. So I've got the 4 ready to go. So I don't need, there's no cooked chopping here apart from cleaning up the fat off the chops. So let me just wash my hands again in my soapy sink. I always have my soapy sink ready to go. You know me, I've got my little routine. And we're going to cook the chops first and then I'm going to take them out once they're cooked and put them on a plate, and then we make the sauce. So it's a one-pot wonder, if you want to call it that. All right, so cooking spray, and I want that to be hot. It's actually, oh yeah, no, it's on. So when that's hot enough, I want to put them in so you can sear it and keep the juices in. Now, I'm sorry, but I get excited over very small things. But I know there's a big announcement coming on Thursday for you guys. I'm super busy excited. So if you want to know what the announcement is, you need to be on my newsletter. So if you haven't subscribed, go in. It's on the website at simplytoogood.com.au, and you'll be the first to know what the big announcement is on Thursday. I can't tell you, it's a secret. All right, in goes our chops. The great thing is pork is now one of the leanest meats that we can get. It's a white meat. So there we go. Now you want to start it as a high temp. Now remember, this recipe is actually on the website, and if you just join me, it's sticky pork chops happening here. So let me just wash my hands again. Now while the chops are cooking, I'm just going to move that over there. And the great thing is you don't have to cook your pork till it's nearly dead, like we used to years and years ago, because it's given that they give the pig really good quality food so that it's a healthy meat now. So that's important to know. And there's lots of benefits in pork. I mean, like you've already seen how to cut the fat count down by just taking that fat off. But the loin is really the leanest of meats. Okay, so that's what you go to. Now, pork minced, if you're looking at pork minced, really be careful with that, because you want to make sure that the mince is actually pink looking, light pink. If it's got lots of white bits in it, that means they've put the fat in. So it will be very high in fat. I'm all about looking at the saturated fats, which is the fat, right? And in any other items that you get the saturated fat, like with butter and coconut cream. I'm not about like, oh, you can't have fats. I want you to have healthy fats, okay? And that's how I roll. But look, for example, I looked it up. 85 grams of pork will give you a third of your requirements, your daily requirements. Who knew that? I mean, thiamine, niacin, selenium, vitamin B6, plus it's also really rich in B12, potassium, iron, and who doesn't need magnesium? I'm sorry, but it's time to put a bit of pork on your fork, absolutely. So, all right, chatting away here, I'm sorry, let's get cooking. So you've got all your stuff out. Now, this is what's so easy about this recipe, is we make the sauce in the bowl, we cook the chops, take them out, chuck the sauce in, cook it for a couple of minutes, and then you put your pork back in. Or you can just put your sauce separate and just pour it over as you serve. Up to you. All right, so let's start. All right, so we're going to now measure. If you've got your measure cup out, we're going to do 1/3 cup of plum sauce. Now, I've got to say, I really love the SPC, okay? The SPC is what I really love. Now, you can get it in most IGA stores if you have trouble in Coles or Woolies. So have a look. But if you really can't find it, then you know what? There's another one that I use on times I can't, and it's this brand, the AM plum sauce will work as well. But this one is my favourite, and I normally buy like 2 or 3 bottles when I see it in the shops. All right, so I'm going to just turn my chops here. They're cooking nicely. And it's up to you. I mean, how do you like your pork? Do you still want to cook it all the way through, or do you do medium rare? I don't know. That's a thought. Okay, so we've got our plum sauce. So let's put that in the bowl. Remember, it's 1/3 cup. Perfect. Now we want to put in a tablespoon. I keep getting it wrong. A tablespoon of the low salt. If you've got my spoons, remember to press down with liquids. So we want a tablespoon of the low salt soy sauce. So put a tablespoon in. Perfect. We're going to put in 1/8 of a teaspoon of Chinese spice. It's really quite pungent. Look, it's got a strong flavour, so you don't want to overpower the dish. So this is where I love my spoons, because hello, there's your 1/8. It's perfect. I know exactly that I'm putting the right amount in. And if you're looking at chilies and that, it can really make or break a dish. Absolutely. Now we want 2 teaspoons. I'll just drop this down to 2. So you want, now get your sweet chili, and we want 2 teaspoons. So it's got lots of lovely flavours, which is why it's called sticky pork chops, because it gets a bit that way. And the last one is the honey. Now, did you know that this one here, the yellow box honey, is the one that is preferred for people with diabetes because it's got a lower GI. So I've always used it ever since I found that out. I thought, wow, you know what? You don't have to be diabetic to eat healthy. All right, 2 tablespoons of honey. Oh, sorry, it's a bit hard to squeeze it. There we go. And we're going to do one more. I hope you're keeping up with me. So it's, as you can see, this is one of those recipes that everyone's going to love because it's just got a great sauce. It's all about that. And as I said, you know, it's actually, I've got it written down here, 3.4 grams of fat per serve for the pork. For the chicken, it's 2.2 grams. I mean, how ridiculous is that? Lamb is 6.1 and tofu is 7.5 per serve. So now, just mix it together. Get all those flavours together. Sorry? Charlotte's having a birthday. Well, happy birthday, Charlotte. My gosh, 21 again? All right. So our sauce is done. I mean, really, how hard is this? I mean, it's fantastic. Now, let me check my pork. I think it's looking pretty good. I'm going to take them out now and put them onto a plate. Now, if you've just joined me, you're a bit late, Dale. Where have you been? I've got my pork chops coming out, and that's because we're doing sticky pork chops. And you know what's very exciting? For those of you who are on my menu plans for this winter challenge that started yesterday, hello, we're excited. Did you know that this recipe is in week 3 of your menu plan? I know. So if you're going, what's this menu, weight loss program? What are you talking about? Well, go onto the website, check it out, because it's not too late to join. It isn't. You could get in now. Okay, let's turn that down a little bit. We've just got to put in half a teaspoon now into the thing. It's called a fry pan. Got the ginger, half a teaspoon of garlic. I might just use this. Cook that off for a sec, and then in goes the sauce. Now we just cook that up for a couple of minutes. Oh my gosh, how easy is this recipe? But you know it's fabulous. It's so tasty. Your family are going to just go, yes, put this on the menu every week, please, Mum or Dad. So you just cook that off for just a couple of minutes to let it reduce down a little bit. And what I like is that we're using the same pan, so we're not doing anything extra. And what we do is we then add the pork chops back in, soak them all up with the syrup, the sauce, and then serve it. Or you could serve those chops up and then just pour a quarter of the sauce over your steaks if you wanted to. But look, I've already made dinner. What I love about this is showing you exactly what I mean by a healthy dinner plate. See, half of it is veggies. Loves it. This half is veggies. This quarter is your carbohydrate, which is my mash. And then I'm going to put my steak here. with the sauce, and that is a perfect dinner plate. How good is this? So that's just to give you an example, because I mean salad's nice with it too, but it's winter. So I'm going to just put that down there. And we are ready. Let's pop our pork back in. Put that syrup back in, you know, the juices that come off the meat, because that will give it flavour. And then push it around, coating the pork, like if you can see in here, there it is sitting in the syrup, the sauce, syrup, whatever you want to call it, the sticky sauce. And I'm going to now serve it up. So here is my pork. Oh, and this is why you need a spoon. Hello? I always find there's a reason I need a spoon. You pour the sauce. You know, you want to use all the sauce up. So make sure you're putting that equal amount over everyone's pork. Remember, chicken, lamb, tofu. It works a treat. This is out of book 4. It is that simple. You're welcome. So there is our recipe for today at Home Ec with Annette. Sticky, fabulous pork chops with veggies. Dinner is ready. And how good is that? I mean, who knew weight loss could be so deliciously healthy? Doing it the Annette way. And remember, it's out of book 4. So if you would like to win book 4, you know you do. This is the book we're talking about. It's fabulous. Sticky pork chops. So if you want to win it, what you have to do is you have to like, share, and then I want to see a photo of your dinner. So put your sticky pork chop up and put your photo in the comments, and I'll pick 3 fantastic people to win a cookbook. It's that easy. Now, on Thursday, I'm going to be back in the kitchen with my trusty little apron on, and I'm excited because I'm making you a recipe that I just love, and I make it all the time, especially when I'm going to functions and that. It's my quick and easy potato bake. Who doesn't love a potato bake? But normally it takes forever to cook in the oven. No, I've conquered it. You need to be here on Thursday. It's out of book 6. It is fabulous. And then next Tuesday, what are we going to do in our class? Well, I'm going there. It's fettuccine carbonara. I know, normally I call that heart attack on a plate. It's out of book 2. It is so low in fat and healthy. You need to know about this, and you're going to cook it with me. So go to the website before next Tuesday, download the recipe if you don't have book 2, and let's make it together. Well, I hope you've enjoyed our cooking class. I think it's been just so easy, you don't even get a sweat up. So don't forget, hello, newsletter. Subscribe to the newsletter. Big announcement on Thursday that I'm busy, fabulously excited about. Anyway, guys, thanks for joining me. Thanks for supporting the show. I'll be back here Thursday. So in the meantime, enjoy your sticky pork chops. Bye now.